Well, I hope you've enjoyed that time of worship. We are now entering into that little piece of surprise news that I wanted to share with you guys. We're kicking off our Generosity Fund for the year 2022. Really exciting stuff, and in this family, we love being generous. The Generosity Fund is a fund where people contribute financially above and beyond their tithes every year within this family, and all of the money in this fund goes towards blessing our city. So that's the heart behind this fund, and it reaches areas from our pop-up process, upliftment for people that might be on the street, towards our educational fund, and even people struggling during COVID to get food. So this fund is really an amazing tool in the hands of this family within this city. And over the next few weeks, we're going to journey through and look at what the Generosity Fund did within this year. Can you hear it? The hustle and bustle of a busy city teeming with life. People coming from everywhere. Entrepreneurs and school teachers, government officials and sports stars, artists and media houses, all joining in to drive the powerful, pulsating culture that moves a nation. This is the landscape of a city, and this is where we start our journey. Armed with faith to reach the lost, a love that can heal the pain, and a living hope ready to restore the brokenness of cities around the globe. Doxa Deo is a family on mission, ready to see the earth filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Well, as I've said, we're going to be journeying through and looking at what the Generosity Fund has been doing. And one of the areas that we're really excited about is called TREE. Now that stands for Transforming Our Educational Environment. And with me today, I have Annerie Logan, who heads up our TREE process for us. Welcome, Annerie. It's nice having you with us. Maybe you can dive in and tell us a little bit more about TREE. What is this ministry all about?
Yes, so TREE is a ministry that goes out to schools in our city, and we ask the question, how can we help you? And I love phrasing it like that because I really feel that is the heart behind who TREE is. We want schools to know that whatever they're facing, whatever they're struggling with, maybe things that they want to accomplish, we will take hands with them and we will make that happen. So this year we have already reached about 6,000 students and teachers. We are weekly currently facilitating CSV or doing leadership training at 7 schools in Bloemfontein, and then we also have very good relationship with other schools in Bloem where we focus on whether it be teachers, investment mornings or leadership development, doing health checks to see how the schools are actually doing. And that's actually the beauty of TREE. There is so much that we can come and help you with because that is the heart. We want to come and serve, and we want to help so that the school can prosper.
Sure, that's really beautiful and powerful. So an opportunity to serve our city and especially the future of this country. Now, I don't have Annerie alone here with me. Today I also have Tamara with me, and she is one of the youth workers in our TREE process. Welcome, Tamara. It's nice having you with us.
Thank you.
And why don't you share one of your stories? What maybe hit your heart personally during this year as a youth worker in TREE?
Yeah, I think there's actually so many stories that have already actually happened this year. But just thinking back on one of the most recent ones from the second term, we were finishing off with one of our schools, actually one of our primary schools, and we had already finished with the whole series with them. So we decided to use the last day as a fun day, do some worship with them, watch a movie, bless them with some chocolates that we were able to buy with the generosity funds that we have for TREE. So yeah, we watched a movie with them, and Christy, actually one of the other student workers in the school, felt the urge to create a moment for a salvation call, and one of the girls that stayed behind after the lesson actually came to salvation that day. And for me to experience that intimate moment with her was actually so incredible for me personally as well. And for the one teacher there as well to also experience a salvation in one of the kids, like for one of the kids in her school for the first time firsthand, also really impacted her deeply. And I think also starting as a TREE worker last year before COVID, we started out with a big bang. We felt like we had the world in our hands. But when COVID struck, then it was like, what can we actually do? Because we came back with so many regulations, so many protocols that we had to follow. We couldn't even have icebreakers that have like physical contact with each other, and that's what little kids, especially in primary school, look for. But I think just through that small breakthrough, that salvation with the girl, it was really impactful for me, because I just experienced the Lord telling me there's so much that we want to accomplish as tree, but there's nothing that we can accomplish to our own flesh. We have to allow the Spirit to come and intervene. And just seeing the Spirit intervene in her life at that moment was really impactful, because that's tree, transforming the environment like you said, and I can see that her environment, the minute she walked out of that class, she was transformed. And just seeing the Lord pursuing her heart, and it just creates so much excitement for me to see the Lord pursue more hearts in the following term and the following year with tree. It was really cool.
It's so cool. Thanks for sharing that. It's clear to see your passion. And isn't it amazing to see that people's eternal destiny has changed because of this ministry, sowing into people's lives? Maybe we can end off, last but definitely not least, Honoree, share with us a little bit what's on your heart. What are we trusting God for in this ministry for 2022 and maybe even in towards the future?
Yeah, and that is a very important but a big question, and we can't talk about that if we don't also look at what happened this year. And I think what has been very sad to see is that it's the first time in Tree's history that we see statistics coming back of children that are really struggling with suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety. We've never seen it in this scale before. Teachers that are struggling to cope with the pressure. And this last 2 terms, we've basically just been called out the whole time. Please come and speak to our kids and to our teachers on how to cope. How do we still find hope? How do we actually maintain any kind of normalcy, I almost want to say, in an environment that doesn't feel normal? And so, to answer your question, what are we standing in faith for the future? We are trusting for God to come and reveal Himself in our schools. We will not be able to change schools and be able to give people the tools they need to cope in this environment if they don't ultimately take that to God and find their hope in Him. And for me, what I'm so excited about with Tree is that you're not just transforming a school when you take God in the middle of it. You're not just transforming students and teachers. You are ultimately impacting families, and that's going to change your city, and you're going to transform the whole city by just going to a school. So we are trusting for our schools to see God and for that to flow into the city that we're serving.
Wow, so true. So true. When we touch the youth, we touch the future. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Generosity this week, and looking forward to journeying with you over the next few weeks.